I cannot believe I'm saying this. This is like the Jurassic World Dominion or Dark Phoenix of this franchise. This movie made Scream 3 a much better movie. I am not joking. What is up, guys and Scream fans? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is Arquette, and of course we have the new film in this franchise. Today I'm going to review the latest horror film that came out, and that film is Scream 7. This is the 7th movie in the Scream franchise, and this movie is directed by Williamson, who of course has been around with the Scream franchise ever since the first movie. And this movie stars the return of Neve Campbell, Courteney Cox, with Isabella May, Mason Gooding, Arquette, and Jasmin Savoy Brown. When a new ghost-faced killer emerges in the town where Sidney Prescott has built a new life, her deepest, darkest fears are realized as her daughter becomes the next target. So we have the 7th installment in the Scream franchise, and you guys know how I feel about the Scream franchise. I love this franchise to death. The first Scream is literally in like my top 5 favorite horror films of all time, and I love this franchise. You know, the second movie was pretty decent. The third movie is definitely my least favorite, but still quite entertaining, but it's definitely the worst one in the series so far. But the fourth movie, I find it pretty underrated. At first, I didn't like the fourth one, but the more years it comes, I really enjoy the fourth one. But now the revival series was out with Scream 5 and Scream 6. Those movies are huge surprises. I love the new characters. I love where the story is going. So after Scream 6, I was really excited to see where it's going to go until Spyglass Entertainment fired Melissa Barrera, one of the leads in the new revival Scream series. Which of course I'm not getting into in this review, but I'm going to say I'm on her side here. I really like Melissa Barrera as an actress, but Spyglass has fired her, so now the franchise is moving on without her and Jenna Ortega. Now they're bringing back Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, and it's a brand new story. So, of course, I was very skeptical when it comes to this movie, but I have a bit of hope because Williamson is directing this movie. And if you don't know who Williamson is, he's the one that made the Scream franchise happen. He has basically come up with the concept of the Scream movie, so he's been in this franchise since the first movie. So now he is directing this movie, so there's a bit of hope here. But the trailers really didn't impress me all that much, so I was skeptical with this movie, but I gave this movie a chance because of Williamson, and also Neve Campbell returning as Sidney Prescott. She wasn't in the 6th film, so it's really good to see her back. So, what do I think of Scream 7? Is this another great addition to the franchise? Unfortunately not, guys. This movie really lets me down. Easily, I would say this is the worst film in the Scream franchise. This movie made Scream 3 a much better movie. I am not joking. What is with horror films this year? It started great with 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, and now it's just gone to shit right now. And my god, Scream 7 is another failure with horror movies this year. Man, this movie really let me down. Now, are there positives with this film? Yes, this film is not one of the worst films ever made. It's not a complete train wreck. It does have positives. First off, the cast, they were good for what they're given, and I would say the best cast member in this entire movie, of course, is Neve Campbell returning as Sidney Prescott. She is great in this film still. She had some good moments in this film. It's really good to see her back in this franchise, and this is definitely her movie. She is definitely the huge lead in this film, and she really brings it all. Like, she never left this character at all. I think Neve Campbell is the best thing about this movie. Of course, with the cast members return, Courteney Cox, once again, is fantastic in this film as Gail Weathers. She wasn't in this movie all that much, but when she was on screen, she is still the character that we know and love from the other movies. And there are some cast members that did return from the other 2 movies, like Mason Gooding, Savoy Brown, and I thought they are good in this film as well. And of course, Ghostface, seeing Ghostface on the screen once again, he is great. I think every single time Ghostface comes on screen, that's when the film at least gets very entertaining. The kills in this movie, although they're not as spectacular as the other films, I still think the kills are really effective in the film. And easily one of the biggest positives of the film, from the film standpoint, is the cinematography. There are some really cool shots in this film, especially when you see Ghostface in this film. There are some really creative hiding places that Ghostface is in. Like, there are some shadowy shots in the film and all you see is his face, or behind something see-through. I think this film goes very creative when it comes to building up the scares. I'll give this film credit. And do I think this film is boring? No, I don't find this film boring at all. If you just want to see a simple Scream movie in this franchise, Scream 7 will definitely be that for you. But for hardcore fans of this franchise, that's a different story, because I was not invested with the story for Scream 7 at all, because you can really tell that after the firing on Melissa Barrera, this film doesn't know what to do with itself. I would say easily the biggest problem with this film is that this film is a huge nostalgic bait film. There are so many nostalgia bait scenes that are so in your face in this film that I just felt like, is this another installment in the Scream franchise, or it's just a nostalgic bait movie? Because that's literally what this film is. Now, I do like this concept of Sidney Prescott protecting her daughter from Ghostface. That could have gone somewhere. But the plot of this movie is just so bland and safe and generic. It doesn't go anywhere where it goes creative. I feel like the biggest thing that I feel like the Scream franchise does is creativity and also making fun of scary movies in general. This movie doesn't really do all that much of that. It just felt like a generic slasher film that you've seen many times before. Now, Isabel May, she tries in this film as Sidney Prescott's daughter, but I'm sorry, I just didn't find her character all that interesting for me to root for her to get away from Ghostface Killer. She just plays an angsty daughter that wants to know her mom's past. We've seen these characters so many times before. And I feel like the chemistry between Sidney and her daughter really doesn't match well to me in this film, because it's just generic. We know exactly where the story is going to go. And the horror scenes in this film, the slashing scene, even though it does have creative build-ups, the execution is literally predictable as hell. Like, you literally know exactly what's going to come. I'm like, okay, Ghostface is going to appear there. Yep, I knew it. I knew that from the very beginning. And it's so disappointing, because I feel like the last two Scream movies, especially Scream 6, had some really brutal and creative kills. And that's why you go into these movies for. You want to see these creative kills. And the kills in this movie just goes a bit more small scale than the other films. And this is definitely a small scale Scream movie. You know, after the New York one, it's a huge scale Scream movie. This movie's going back to the roots. This movie's just trying to be like the other three movies all over again, except with a little less effort. And that's really disappointing, because it's Kevin Williamson, the one who did the Scream franchise in general, the one who written these movies in general. This should be great. Unfortunately, you can really tell that Scream 7 does not know what to do with itself. And of course, the killer reveals in this film, which obviously I'm not going to spoil, but the unmasked reveal in this movie this time is lame as hell. First of all, it's predictable. I knew exactly what's going to happen. I knew exactly who the killer is, literally throughout the middle of the film. Like, it's going to be that one. It's going to be that. Yes, I knew it. But the motivation of the unmasked killers in this film is so freaking lame in this film. Easily one of the worst unmasked moments in the Scream franchise in general. Their motivation is not just bland, but so dumb in this film, to the point where I'm like, what are they doing? You can really tell after the firing that's happening, this film has literally got jumped to the halt. Now, I'm not trying to say they should bring back Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. If they're gonna move on without them, that is fine. But at least come up with a story that is just, you know, trying to be something different and much more creative. But this movie, it's just another Scream movie. It's literally going for the exact same aspects as the other movies. We are open for something different, and if it wasn't for this firing, I felt like this would have been a completely different movie. This would have gone places where I'm like, okay, I'm interested where this is going to go, because after Scream 6, I'm like, I cannot wait to see where these characters go. But now this movie's just kind of cuts that all out and kind of come up with a brand new story because of the firing, and you can really tell the firing made this movie just kind of like, okay, what is this movie? So guys, overall, Scream 7 was a huge letdown. Easily, this is the worst film in the Scream franchise. This easily made Scream 3 a much better movie. Like, seriously. I really didn't like this movie, guys. I think the story of the film is just bland. I think Neve Campbell, Sidney Prescott is still great in this film, and Courteney Cox is great in the film as well. Ghostface, it's really good to see him on screen again. Some of the kills, you know, it's entertaining to watch in general, and it's not a boring film at least. But it just doesn't take the fact that this movie is just a complete mess. It's just a huge nostalgic bait movie. The story of the film is just completely all over the place. And with the mother and daughter story, it just made it very bland. It makes me really hard to root for them to survive, because you know exactly what's going to happen. This is a very predictable film. It doesn't go off with the creativity like the other movies did, and I wish it really does. This movie's not even funny. This movie takes itself way too seriously than it actually is. And I think the overall reveal and stuff and the whole motivation of the film is just completely lame throughout. This is easily the weaker film in this franchise. I cannot believe I'm saying this. This is like the Jurassic World Dominion or Dark Phoenix of this franchise. This film is a huge step down of this franchise. I gotta say, for Scream 7, just go skip this movie. And it hurts for me to say because I love this franchise, but easily this film is the worst film in the Scream franchise. And will this film end up on my worst list? Probably. So guys, that is my review for Scream 7. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Do you like the film, hate the film, or you thought it's okay? And how would you rank the Scream movies in this franchise? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Notify for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a nice day. What was that? Have a nice day.